5:30 p.m.
Oh, welcome to the Now Report on TV47. My name is Furaha and it's a beautiful, beautiful Thursday. Hakuna joto kali, hakuna baridi mbaya, because I've been very confused weather-wise. But either way, we are here, and as always, I have a lot for you. Today, nataka niwapeleke kwa safari fulani. It's a journey, and our journey starts here at home. With mattresses, money, and high stakes reigning in Olkalau, as we near the by-elections, kulikuwa na a hitch with voter registration details countrywide, which again we talked about jana. But here's the thing. The notice that IEBC gave of the routine ICT system upgrade came after people looked at their voter details and found them missing. Normally, for any ICT upgrade that might, even if it's a might, affect users, kuna multiple notices. Days ahead of that information, people of the plan ahead of the plan kuna information mingi napatiwano before we actually end up getting before the actual situation occurs, so that it doesn't haikupati off guard. Now, what actually ended up this time is that the damage occurred first. It looks like the damage actually happened, and now what they came in with was just damage control. For we actually don't know what, at least like at Juni kwamba we didn't see it coming, we were not prepared for it now. But the biggest update I have for you now is the fact that the systems are now back online. That is very good, zimerudi. And if you go in there and check for your details, niko sure utapata, because unajua my producer amecheck yake akaona pia. I'll be checking out for mine, and I'm sure I will find it. You look in and also give us an update to how it will turn out to be. I know we were not prepared for it, but now we are more than prepared. Sawa. Bado tukiwa nyumbani, nataka tusonge kwa story nyingine. That was just a quick update. Kenyan motorists are facing a steep financial and legal roadblock following a stringent new bill introduced in the Senate that aims to aggressively clean up the country's transport sector. The proposed law mandates that all vehicle owners undergo compulsory annual emissions testing as a strict prerequisite before securing or renewing their vehicle insurance, driving licenses, and standard roadworthiness inspection certificates. Under the harsh legislative framework, taking shortcuts is simply out of the questions. Failing to comply or trying to bypass the test in a carry eye-watering penalties, including heavy court fines of up to 500,000 shillings, a full year of imprisonment, or both. The sweeping environment-focused bill enters the floor amid intense national debate over recently suspended National Transport and Safety Authority vehicle checks, pushing the structural conversation from basic road safety elements right into aggressive climate action. So yeah, again, this is just information that you need to have, and I feel like take action when the time is right. Penalties umesikia ziko juu sana, hatutaki kuumia, si ndio? Haya. Now, our journey continues, of course. Acha sasa tutoke Kenya tuhepe kiasi tunaenda Zimbabwe. Now, imagine waking up to find your boss just gave themselves a 2-year contract extension and quietly deleted your right to ever vote on who the next boss should be. That is exactly the reality check hitting Zimbabwe saizi. President Emerson Mnangagwa, fittingly claimed the crocodile, reportedly just signed off on some massive constitutional overhauls. The new law keeps him in power until 2030, and it completely axes direct presidential elections, meaning that citizens are officially stripped of the popular vote. From saizi, from now on, parliament gets to do the picking. The vibe on the street of the capital in Harare is a total mixed bag. Some residents are fully supportive, cheering that the president has been doing great work, good work, and deserves more time on the clock. But legal experts are already pulling out their yellow cards. Human rights lawyer Doug Coltart is sounding the alarm and states that the entire movie is bound to face a mountain of legal challenges because the actual process of amending the constitution wasn't done lawfully. It turns out that even if you're the crocodile, you still have to follow the rules of the swamp.
longer a bill, it is part of our law. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is lawful or that it can't be challenged. It can be challenged. And one of the many grounds on which that it will be challenged is that the process by which the Constitution was amended was not done lawfully.
Democracy, guys. Democracy is very important. That is all I'll say in this. Hopefully, things go well for them, because that is a dangerous direction to go. I'm not saying that things will go bad. I'm just saying it's a questionable direction, and maybe the people need to think about it a bit more. Now, talk about a widely overdue library return. Syria just unboxed 23 ancient treasures that have been stuck in France for the last 15 years. Now, back in 2010, these artifacts, which span thousands of years, covering everything from prehistory all the way through the Roman and Umayyad eras, were loaned out to a museum in Paris for an exhibition. They were supposed to be shipped back in 2014, but then the civil war broke out. Diplomatic ties were completely severed, and the artifacts found themselves stuck in the ultimate geopolitical limbo. Fast forward to this week, and French President Emmanuel Macron didn't just sign off on sending them back. He literally just packed them onto his official presidential jet and flew them into Damascus himself. Talk about first-class luggage. The collection is now safely back at the National Museum of Damascus, boasting historical pieces from the Mesopotamian Canaanite and Nabatean civilization. Syrian authorities are celebrating this as a major cultural win, calling it the official kickoff to a global scavenger hunt to bring the rest of their scattered history back home. You know, this low-key raises a question for me. Drew, you know the amount of stuff that during the colonial era, the amount of artifacts and historical items that were taken from our country or the African countries and then flown into the European states or the colonialist side, that I'm sure I wonder just how much more is actually out there that we are yet to see, that they are yet to reveal to us. Because I remember a while back I watched a documentary on, it was somewhere in town at, I'll not say the place. It was a great documentary, and it was talking about how someone went and looked for their ancestors in the European countries, and actually they found them. It wasn't fully confirmed, but then it was a skull that they found. And I say that and on that trip, so that our heritage. So I wonder just how much of that is actually out there. Anyway, that's a question that I cannot answer, but I hopefully will get answers to someday in the future. Forget the space race or the Cold War. The newest superpower showdown is happening over robot brains and digital coins. President Donald Trump just dropped a massive tech flex, claiming that the US is leading China substantially in the race for artificial intelligence dominance. Trump used the moment to double down on his love for cryptocurrency, making it clear that if America wants to win the future, it has to own both the algorithms and the blockchain. According to him, AI and crypto aren't just fancy buzzwords for your tech bro cousin uses. They're the literal frontline of global economic competition. Now, while tech analysts are still crunching the data on who actually has a smarter code, the message from the White House is clear. America is aiming for absolute digital supremacy. Whether that means that we get world-changing scientific breakthroughs or just incredibly advanced AI-generated memes remains to be seen. But the global arms race has officially been dialed.
AI
Even in TikTok, you know, I was watching somebody say, "Oh, the TikTok deal, it's so bad for," well, because the deal was incredible, but they think the word that gets out is bad. Except the numbers just came out, and I'm #1 on TikTok, and all I do is talk about communism, right? So it's sort of good. I used it to get elected too, but you know, you have to get your word out. Just the numbers came out just a little while ago, and I was #1, some ridiculous number. I never heard of numbers like that, but #1. And all these entertainers are number 27, 29. It's crazy. I don't even understand myself, but that means that my word's getting out about how great our country is, how successful our country is.
President Trump is quite an interesting character. It's fun watching him. Like I said, it's a ridiculous number, #1. Anyway, a high-end fashion studio usually focuses on the runway, but a top Venezuelan design house is completely changing its template for a heartbreaking reason. Following the massive June 24th earthquakes that devastated the country, luxury workshops have officially paused making evening gowns. Instead, teams of tailors are using their sewing machines and fabric to mass-produce body bags for overwhelmed emergency services. Because they are creators at heart, they aren't just making generic plastic sacks. They are using their craftsmanship to bring actual dignity to the victims, even embossing religious symbols right onto the zippers. It is an incredibly heavy pivot for an industry built on glamour, but it's a powerful example of a community swapping the runway for rescue work when their country needs it the most.
A follower tagged us in a post where someone needed seamstresses to make body bags, and after we started and donated 48, we already had on the table how we could act from our value, what the action plan was going to be based on what we know how to do. And in this case, it was to support with the bags. We started full throttle with by Ephraim, making them from this plastic, calling suppliers with the thread we had under the regulations of what is needed to make these bags.
I genuinely appreciate it when humanity's good side shows itself, and I truly appreciate the work that they are doing. And of course, my condolences to all that lost their lives during the earthquake. Now, after Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger kicked out French forces and formed their own exclusive breakaway club, they immediately swiped right on Moscow. This week, Russia made it official that they are locked into this relationship for the long haul. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov flew into the region to promise unconditional military backing to keep this junta-led government steady. The Kremlin is essentially playing the role of the ultimate security guard, offering heavy weapons and Africa Corps forces to fight local insurgencies while throwing major shade at Western influence. But the partnership is already facing a serious reality check, especially after Russian-backed troops took heavy losses in northern Mali just days ago. Moscow insists that they've got their allies' backs, but it's clear this new alliance is going to need a lot more than diplomatic high fives to keep things under control.
Is a partner that stayed when others were leaving. Russia extended a helping hand to us at a time when others were seeking to preserve a system that prevented the alliance's member states from breaking free from the old order. It has played a key role not only in bilateral relations with each of our states, but also at the level of the alliance as a whole. Russia was one of the first countries to recognize the alliance of Sahel states as a significant political player and an equal partner to be reckoned with. We discussed many issues. We will continue to maintain this open and honest dialogue that we have always sought in our cooperation with other states and international organizations.
Well, Our journey ends there. That is all from me today. And guys, unajua leo France wanacheza na Morocco. I'm not sure which team to support. This is alleged, but there was a post online that I see that Morocco are only playing for Morocco, not for Africa. If that is true, I feel some type of way about it. But anyway, that was all from me today. Take care. Have a lovely day. TV47 at 1 is next. Now report channel narudi jioni na Daddy Mato. Either way, have a lovely day, guys. Sawa, take care.